Services, locally owned and operated, HLAC certified to the highest standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
Missouri. Left-hand drive, top of the key, step back, head and shoulder fake. Now three, good. He can light up in a hurry, knocks down the three with just over 90 seconds to play in the half, and the lead is 7. Robinson to the top of the key, right wing Pierce for the tie. Bang! And Missouri ties it at 36. Picks up the dribble, right side of the key for Grill, looking inside. Left wing now, Bates, jab step, drives to the block. Went for the mash and just put Shedrick on a poster. 49-46 on the tomahawk by Tamar Bates.
Larry right side, fires a pass into Shedrick, losing his balance, got it back with a jump hook, and he scores! Turns it with a left-hand jump hook. Caden Shedrick puts Texas back in front, 51-50.
Tigers move into the top 25. It'll be a short-lived appearance, though, in the top 25, unless Missouri can bounce back and beat Ole Miss on Saturday, as the Tigers lose 61-53 on the road in Austin.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I had a full day yesterday. Left the office around, what time was it?
It was afternoon, because I left around noon.
Yeah, maybe around 1. Did some quick shopping. Took care of the gift I was getting for the twins for their birthday. That involved 2 stops, Jake. 1, getting Sweet 16 cards. 2, going to the ATM.
Cha-ching.
We crossed that bridge.
Yeah.
They're no longer interested in presents that I pick out for them. They said it kiddingly on the air, then, it would be nice if we just got money and then we could pick out the things that we really like. I said, well, okay, but I found them some Sweet 16 cards. Got them some cash, and I made them I had to do something embarrassing. I put together a video with a bunch of pictures from birth through now, and to the soundtrack of One Direction, Story of My Life. So put that on Facebook. Why'd you pick out those pictures? Ah! They were actually pretty happy with it, so I'm shocked.
Way to go.
And then, let's see. Drove to Chillicothe.
Chillicothe?
I left for Chillicothe around 2:30. Headed up there around 2:30, maybe closer to 3. And then watched a triple header of girls basketball, C team, JV, and varsity. Ended up about 7 hours in the Chillicothe, and yeah, that's all right. I think so. Well, drive, if you include the drive, because we got there at 4, and the games were 5, at 6, and at 7, and so yeah, factor everything in. We got We got back home at around 11:15. And so I feel like there's a part of me that's still in Chillicothe. So, but here we are, Wednesday. You know what, though? The good thing about that is, like yesterday after the show, I was like, oh, God, every one of these days is going to be so long. I can't wait until this game on Sunday. This week is going to just drag ass. Hey, man, you stay busy. You know, there's people out there that are busier than I am. You know, you stay busy. You got a lot of things on your schedule. The hours go by pretty fast. And so we're already at Wednesday. We're already at hump day. And still, I feel like, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then finally Sunday. And then Sunday is going to be all day long until 5:30. I'm just so excited to watch this game. I'm so excited to see how everything plays out. I'm trying not to think about it because it'll drive me crazy. And look, it's so interesting because you have all of these different narratives and different storylines throughout a football season, right? And they can just change on a dime. With you know, an injury can spin a story, you know, the other way. Teams that are supposed to be good can have injury issues or just have a down year and fall apart. I mean, look, who was in the Super Bowl last year against the Chiefs? 49ers. They didn't sniff the playoffs this year. Or maybe they sniffed them. Maybe they're able to get a whiff of them, but that's it.
Severely underperforming.
You know, they weren't expecting to be sitting at home with the playoffs.
No,
starter, right?
Absolutely not. They were one of the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Beginning of the year. They were one of the favorites.
Detroit fully expected to be in the championship game up until they weren't last Saturday night. Who could have possibly expected? And I'm talking about in the last offseason. At the end of the year last year, if I'd have told you, yeah, Washington's going to hire a new coach, draft a quarterback, go out and sign a couple of key free agents, and then they're going to be in the NFC Championship game. No way. It'd have been hard for you to convince me that Washington was going to be in the playoffs.
No, I think I felt like I made a bold proclamation saying that they'd finish above 500.
But I'm just talking about like before they made any of those moves. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
Like right when we're talking about
end of the year,
at the end of the Super Bowl, before the draft, before everything else.
No way.
You know, because to be able to go from what they were and advance to the championship game, you got to hit a home run with the coach. You got to hit a home run with the rookie quarterback.
Front office.
You got to make
they cleaned it all up.
Key free agent acquisitions, and so you know those were unexpected things, right? The NFC was kind of wild. Philadelphia, we thought they'd be good, but like we didn't know because it seemed like at the end of last year, Nick Sirianni was on the verge of being fired, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like, he's lost control of this team.
Had to change coordinators. They took their time with bringing him back.
Is their window going to be closed until they get a new coach? And now they look terrific, and they're very likely to be back in the Super Bowl. And so the NFC was kind of all over the place, right? That was a wild conference of some unexpected storylines. AFC, this is what it was always supposed to be.
Yep. I said it last week. I felt like we were headed all season long. Anything less than the Bills-Chiefs AFC Championship game, you know.
And I know that Baltimore was a factor.
Right.
And Baltimore was part of it. But at the end of the day, when you wrap your head around it, now that it's happening, it just feels like, man, this is where we were always headed. This was inevitable. Nobody was writing down Commanders-Eagles for the NFC Championship game at the start of the season. But there were a lot of people writing down Chiefs and Bills. They met in the divisional round last year. They've played so many times in the playoffs now and in the regular season. This has turned into the quarterback rivalry right now in the NFL. And so it just now and it really did for a long time. We wondered, well, will someone upset the Chiefs? Will Baltimore stop the Bills? No. This was inevitable. Chiefs and Bills, Mahomes and Josh Allen in the playoffs for the fourth time in the last 5 seasons. Which, again, is just wild. And it was funny because we always wondered early on, right, in the Mahomes era, who's it going to be? Who's going to be that number one rival that emerges?
Oh, early on, he's like, Deshaun Watson. This looks like,
Remember the first guy we thought in his first playoff game? How many chapters of Mahomes and Andrew Luck are we going to see?
Yeah, Andrew Luck.
This could be the first of many.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, but this is going to be fun to watch it play out.
Oh, yeah, we were sitting I remember watching that game with you at Arrowhead.
That's called the old one and done. And Andrew Luck said, hey, I'm out. See you later.
Yeah, gotta go.
No, but I remember we talked about that. This could be a really interesting rivalry over there.
Absolutely. That was the discussion.
And then, with that unbelievable 51-31 game in the divisional round of the playoffs the next year, well, how many times are we going to see Mahomes and Deshaun Watson?
That was the discussion
in the postseason. Boy, this thing's going to be crazy over the years.
How young these guys are. Well, bright futures.
There you go. There was no buzz about a possible Mahomes Ryan Tannehill rivalry.
Right.
But then is it Lamar? Is it Josh Allen? And then Joe Burrow, right? And it's been Josh Allen early and often. For just a minute there, and I'm not saying this to be a smartass. I'm just saying this because it's fact. It could have been Joe Burrow, but they don't make the playoffs enough. And I know you're cracking a smile in there, but it's true. They haven't made the playoffs the last 2 years. It's not the Chiefs' fault that died down. Look, it was hot and heavy because for back-to-back years, you had them playing the championship games, and Burrow won one, and Mahomes won the next one. You think, okay, boy, this is going to be good. Well, the Chiefs have been there, ready for them,
waiting
in the playoffs the last 2 years. They didn't make it, and I don't want to hear the laundry list of excuses. They didn't make it.
Right.
They didn't make it. And so if you want to blame someone for letting that postseason rivalry die, it can always be rekindled. Let it happen, let them meet again next year, and we'll be right back at it.
Yep.
But that's died down because of Cincinnati's refusal to make the postseason. Okay? And so Josh Allen is making the postseason. Josh Allen is getting to the point with the Buffalo Bills to where they face the Chiefs. And so you got to give them credit because there have been some horrific losses they've experienced in the postseason. They clearly could have given them the hangover the following year where they took a step back. They've had to say goodbye to some high-priced players. They've had to manipulate the roster. But they've just kept trucking. And they've, you look up, oh, it's Buffalo again. Oh, here's Buffalo again. And so you have to have a tremendous amount of respect for their consistency and their ability to keep bouncing back. Because as Cincinnati showed you, it ain't that easy just to make the playoffs every year. As San Francisco showed you, you can go, as Jake says, from the balcony to the dungeon.
Right down there.
In 1 year. Okay? And we marvel at how the Chiefs just win the division and make the playoffs every year. Buffalo's right there with them. They've been there to play the Chiefs 4 out of 5 years in the postseason. And the year that the Chiefs didn't get a chance to eliminate them, they were eliminated by Joe Burrow and the Bengals in the divisional round. So they're always there. And so it's now, we're here in the year of our Lord 2025. It's Josh Allen. Could Lamar still become a rival? Yeah. He's got to face Mahomes a couple of more times in the postseason.
I think Burrow would be more likely to be.
Right, because it's already there.
Right.
He already has a win over him.
They've only gone against Lamar once.
Yeah. He's the only active quarterback in the NFL
right.
to have a win over Mahomes in the postseason.
Correct.
There are no others. Okay?
Nuts.
Unless Bro wants to come out of the broadcast booth, that's the only other guy.
Yeah.
All right?
Raiders do need a quarterback.
I don't need that.
And a coach.
Right.
And a GM.
Yeah. And a talent. And a lot. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
And so, look, I have a – man, Buffalo's good. And Buffalo has been a worthy rival, a worthy opponent.
True adversary.
And look, you have to have – well, here we go. I don't want to be like Nate and always bring up my favorite sport, but I will. If you were Ali, you had to have Joe Frazier. Because that pushed him to greatness. Ali wasn't in the ring by himself in the Thriller in Manila. And guess what? But here's the difference, though. The first fight between Ali and Frazier, who won? Frazier. He fought Kenny Norton 3 times, right? Ken Norton broke his jaw. He had a win over him. Yeah, and Ali's considered the greatest, right? And we think Patrick Mahomes might be considered the greatest when it's all said and done. You have to have worthy rivals that push you into that greatness. You can't just roll over everybody. And unfortunately, you also have to have those rivals sometimes jump up and bite you and beat you once in a while. We've already seen that. We've had the heartbreaking losses. We've seen Mahomes lose twice in overtime in the AFC Championship game and lose in the Super Bowl when he did everything he could physically, even though Jake will never see that game. Jake, he did a lot.
I believe it.
Jake, he did a lot in that game.
I've never seen the Chiefs
Didn't get a
lose
lot of
the
help.
Super Bowl.
Okay?
Hopefully never will.
And so at some point, will Josh Allen beat Mahomes in the playoffs? Maybe. Might be this year. But then again, it might not. There's no guarantee. Do I think Josh Allen will ever win a Super Bowl? Yeah. But there's no guarantee that he beats Mahomes on the way to doing it. But he might. It's all on the table there. This ain't going to be the last time they're going to face each other in the playoffs, by the way. I don't think. I think we got some more coming. Because they're just both so damn good. And the organizations are good. And the Bills have shown that. Their ability to put the right people around him and have the right chemistry. You don't win that many games and have that much success in the postseason without understanding how to build the right culture in your locker room. And they've shown it. Hey, Cincinnati failed that test.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. Ask Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Ask Jesse Bates.
Right.
Ask the holdout that Jamar Chase had at the beginning of the season.
That's one of the things where they struggled.
Ask Higgins how that franchise
Right.
tag's doing.
See? So, and it's not, my point is it's not as easy as it sounds.
No.
Oh, just build the right culture. Pick the right guys. Cincinnati has struggled with that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they have the right coach.
Wow.
He's probably on the hot seat going into next year.
Right. And so this is just, we talk about history and watching the Chiefs chase this three-peat. This is history as well because, they're, the only quarterbacks that are matched up more in the postseason now are Manning and Brady. And when this is all said and done, I mean, how many times are they going to face each other in the playoffs? I mean, the windows are so wide open. I mean, my God, this is 4 and 5 years. We could be talking about 7 or 8 times in the postseason.
Well,
When it's all said and done, can you imagine that?
Manning and Brady only met 5 times in the playoffs.
Yeah.
5 times. That's it in the playoffs. I mean, they're right there.
I mean, anything can happen, but this sure seems like it's going to pass that.
Yeah. I mean, I fully expect it to.
And so, like, when I'm talking about the Chiefs, and I have a certain dislike for other teams around the NFL, like Denver. I can't stand them. And I'm gonna tell you what, I've given people advice to not listen to these national guys and these people that are poking at the Chiefs. Let me tell you something. I despise Mark Schlereth so much and everything he's saying.
What? Stink?
He's just pushing buttons and
is.
everything else. And I remember when he bought an ad at Arrowhead before a Chiefs-Broncos game, and it was him showing his Super Bowl ring, said, "This is the only ring Kansas City's going to see this year." And I was sitting and I was like, how in the hell do you who was responsible for this?
Yeah.
Who in the Chiefs organization let that radio station, let whoever did, I can't remember, it was a Denver radio station or a Denver newspaper. Who in the hell let them buy that ad to where Schlereth, and it was Schlereth and another former teammate, could mock the Chiefs? That, I will never forget that. And all the stuff that he said, I'm telling you to avoid it, but you can. You can go look at all his comments on X. And look, and
Yeah,
he was in.
It's starting to get personal.
Yeah, right, it is getting personal. But guess what? weren't the Broncos?
Yeah.
Didn't they get fined over $1 million for salary cap manipulation and cheating the salary cap in 97 and 98?
Yeah.
Didn't he openly admit he used to cheat and put silicone all over his,
yeah.
everything?
Oh, yeah. We've heard Grunny talk about that.
You want to get on your soapbox and be all sanctimonious and talk about cheating and everything else? I'd probably stand down if I was you, Mark Schlereth, because your squad were known cheaters. Your organization did cheat, but you know where it comes from. That the Chiefs have surpassed the Broncos as an organization in championships and in division championships and in every level you could possibly measure an organization. And he had to watch his beloved John Elway, like a servant, like a butler, deliver the Lombardi Trophy to the Chiefs. And now there's no question, like they always had Elway. No, Patrick Mahomes is better than Elway in every possible way. Better career, more championships, better everything, and will always be recognized as that.
He's surpassed.
He
surpassed him.
Schlereth always had these talking points over the Chiefs, and now he doesn't have any of them. See, now now you got me going sideways. All right? But so like Denver, I don't like. Cincinnati, I don't like. Be honest with Baltimore, I kind of like. I like Lamar.
I like Harbaugh.
Okay, I like Harbaugh. Buffalo, I have an unbelievable amount of respect for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You can be a Chiefs fan and love Patrick Mahomes and believe every fiber in your being that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world, but you could still look at Josh Allen and think, my God, is he great? And he is. He's a badass. But that's what you want, right? Isn't this why we do this? Isn't this why we follow sports or cover sports or have a sports talk show? This is Ali Frazier in the NFL. This is greatness versus greatness. There's no argument. This is the two best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
This is a rivalry that is played out now to where they played now. This will be 4 times in 5 years in the postseason. And we're here watching it, living it, and me and 78,000 of my closest friends would be out there at Arrowhead on Saturday, or on not Saturday. Hell, I might go on Saturday.
Yeah, get out
on
there
Sunday.
early. Get out there early.
You might. And everyone else, it doesn't matter where you're watching. watch party, P&L, whatever. It's like we're a part of it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I used to watch that Brady and Manning like, if I could just be a part of something like this one time where it's my quarterback and my team in these great playoff rivalries, or like when the 49ers used to play the Cowboys, or think about all of them, right?
But that's also...
And we're in it. This is so... I can't wait till Sunday.
But that's also why we were banging the drum so hard. Is we got to get a quarter. We got to get one of those guys, right? We got to get one of those guys because unless we have one of those guys, we're not gonna be in the mix.
Yeah,
we're gonna be watching from the outside, and now we got one of those guys. We got the best guy, and so that's the other backstory. It's like Buffalo had a hand in that. Chiefs got that.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. And so there's so many backstories. You know, we got this draft pick because the Bills traded. You know.
With the 10th pick
thank you,
in the
Buffalo.
2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback, Texas Tech.
And now we can play in those games. Now we got a guy.
But like even last year, you know, Nate was here yesterday he carries his bell around, and when he's right about a prediction, he rings the bell and wants Jake to remind everyone of it. But he doesn't. He puts the bell away when we talk about, you know, when we want to remind him of something that maybe he was wrong about. And Nate was quick to slam the window of the Bills, you know, of the Bills' chance of success last year. Remember? And
oh yeah.
You know, and I kept saying, you know,
he was.
Buffalo's not done. The Chiefs still have to deal with them in the postseason.
This is the bell he should have been ringing.
Right.
Shame.
And then people in the offseason like, I think
got rid of Diggs.
I think Buffalo's going to take a step back.
They're rebuilding.
It's still going to be Buffalo, man. And maybe
as long as they have Josh Allen.
That's just what I think of Josh Allen.
Yeah. Well.
And my point is, I was right and Nate was wrong. That's my main point that I like to remind people of. And he should walk down the street ringing a bell and we all throw poop at him.
Shame.
Like the olden days of Game of Thrones. Wouldn't we all like to do that?
Medieval times.
Have him walk down Metcalf. But I come from just like a place of respect for Buffalo and Josh Allen. And because it ain't easy to keep getting beat by the same team.
Yeah.
And to keep bouncing back and not let that hang over you. And like, okay, here we go. We're coming at you again. And it might happen again on Sunday. But it ain't going to be easy for the Chiefs. It ain't going to be easy for Buffalo.
Neither, yeah.
It's a heavyweight slugfest. And like I said, Ali had to have his Frazier. You know? Brady had to have his Manning.
Morales had to have his Barrera.
There we go. And I went to the second fight. We've seen it in every sport, man.
Right.
You know? And this is just, I'm just so excited to watch another chapter of this. And I think the Chiefs are going to win. I believe the Chiefs are going to win. I'm sitting on 27-24 right now.
Getting chills just thinking about it, man.
But it's just going to be so exciting. All this talk and everything else. I'm so excited to watch this game. I'm so excited to cover this game. And I'm so excited, hopefully, to cover a happy, celebratory locker room where I see, like the last AFC Championship game I covered, I see Creed Humphrey walking in with 2 cases of beer on his shoulders. Because that's the way you celebrate if you're an All-Pro center. We'll take a break. Sunday cannot get here soon enough. Back after this on WHB.
Why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
You are listening to A New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We're raising
So, I'll tell you what I'm doing Saturday, and I'll invite you. I was told to invite you, but I know you shun opportunities to be in public with me and with others.
I don't shun them. They just scare me.
This might be the right mix for you, though.
All right. What do you got?
So my friends from Chop It Up Travel are putting together a big Red Kingdom rally Saturday night, conference championship edition.
All right.
You know, Grunhard was the one last week, right? So this is gonna be the Voodoo Lounge.
Ooh.
At Harrah's, right? You've seen the inside of a casino once or twice.
We've been there a few times.
Well, I don't know what this "we" is. You got a mouse in your pocket over there?
No, we've seen Pomeroy there. Saw Ice Cube there.
Yeah.
Seen
Ice Cube saw me.
Yeah, seen loosely.
And then Ice Cube's bodyguard saw me and almost threw me off the stage. Which is fine.
Back in the drinking days.
Yeah. But they're gonna have Blaine Howard perform live on stage, and they have a bunch of Kansas City legends, right? All mingling and having fun. And so they reached out to me to ask if I'd make an appearance and do a little MC work. I said, well, let's figure things out. And we did, so I'm going to be there. And there's a list. There's a list of others that I will share, but that's still, I know that Dante Hall's going to be there. I know our guy, Duron Cherry's going to be there. So that's a pretty good start right there, right? Neil Smith.
Yeah, a couple guys that are names up on the Ring of Honor.
Tim Barnett, Sean Barber. So they reached out. And they asked me, what's the possibility of getting you, Sherm, and Dieter out there together?
Oh, boy.
I said, well, we can talk about it. Like, here, you know, and I, you know, the boys trust me to negotiate and figure things out, you know. Like, what would it take to get him there? I said, this is what I think it'll take to get him there.
Right.
First of all, a room of privacy where Sherm can be left alone if he so chooses.
I think that's fair.
A circle of trust. Anyway.
He needs an escape route.
While I was in between games in Chillicothe, I'm working on this. And so the event will indeed feature me, Gary Dieter, and Anthony Sherman.
Oh, boy.
All together at this Red Kingdom rally at Voodoo Lounge on Saturday at 6.
Saturday at 6.
You can get tickets at chopituptravel.com. And look, here's the deal. I really am never sure or can't ever control what happens during the hour on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
With Sherman Dieter. I sure as hell ain't going to predict what's going to happen when we're all going to be live together. You know.
Oh, boy.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, the odds of me showing up just went up a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. And so I'm just preparing you. Because Sherm, I was like, okay, so you're going to go. And I already told him I was emceeing. And Sherm's response was, yeah, you better be there. I'm like, I'm going to be.
I'm going to be the MC.
There's no reason to. You better be there. I go, okay, I'll be there. But I'm going to be there. Like, I'm the one asking you to go. And told you I'm going to be emceeing this thing.
Chopituptravel.com. I'm looking at it right now.
So
the Red Kingdom Rally, baby.
So what I'm telling you is, when they're here tomorrow, I'm sure the question is going to be popped, so is Iceman going to be there?
Right.
And I think if there's ever a time for you to reveal yourself to the public, this might be it.
Yeah.
If it get together, Pat Bradley, AFC Championship game, and you got.
If I get a little squirrely, I could just sneak out into the floor of the casino.
That's yeah.
Let off some steam.
Oh yeah, there's a chance. Maybe that might happen.
Right.
Oh no, Jake's at the blackjack table. I can't believe it. How did that happen?
Why is Jake rolling dice again?
Here he goes. Oh, boy. So I thought you'd get a kick out of that me and Sherm and Dieter, and they're working on some more. And then Dante Hall, and Duron Cherry.
Get out of here.
Live
Live DJ.
Yeah. Photo booth. Pop-up shop. Okay, it's gonna be a blast. How could it not be? Like, how could it not be? I'll brings the energy. I'll brings the ruckus.
Tickets available. ChopItUpTravel.com. Nice.
And I could put you on a list, so you're one of my peeps.
All right.
Susan's gonna go to watch over me. Keep a watchful eye on me, because we know how things can go the night before a big Chiefs game. I celebrate the event, Jake. That's why they want me there. I'm in a very celebratory mood. I will be on Saturday, at least. And then it'll be all business on Sunday when we go cover the game. But there you go. Are you surprised that I got both Dieter and Sherm?
I am. I think that's a coup.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm honestly, I am surprised.
I'm trying to see they'll wrestle on stage.
I don't think Sherm would do that.
Right. I know someone who would. And his name's Gehrig.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think we could probably find a partner for him to wrestle.
Yeah. Let's see if we do that.
Yeah. Live wrestling.
Yeah. Like old school pro wrestling. Challenge someone out of the crowd. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. Stephen St. John here for Pick 6 from DraftKings. Man, you've heard me talking about this. I've been talking about this for months. I love it. Lebo loves it. Hell, Pete Sweeney loves it. We all love it. Jake loves it. And you'll love it too, because look, the playoffs are here, and the playoffs are already great. We talked about that earlier. But this makes it even better, because it gives you a chance to win. And that's what you want to do, right? You want to win, and you want to have fun doing it. You want DraftKings, and you want Pick 6 from DraftKings. No need to wait, all right? Time's running out. The playoffs won't be here forever. And as the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like nobody else. You play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's very easy to get started. Select 2 or more players. Choose if they'll have more or less of a stat like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers. Play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. How do you beat that? You can't. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
18 plus, age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
It's a shotgun snap. It's a handoff to Hunt. Got a block from Kelsey. Touchdown with the Chiefs scoring right there on a 1-yard touchdown run by Kareem Hunt. And the Chiefs extend their lead with 4.5 to go, 12-3 over Houston. Here's a shotgun snap to Mahomes from the Houston 26. Line drive down the middle. Bell die catch made by the curling Kelsey. 15 on the hash mark 10. Broken tackle and pounds his way to the 8. Kelsey has done it again, over 100 yards. Receiving tonight, 18-yard pickup there. First and goal, Chiefs at the 8 of Houston. Mahomes in the gun, receivers in tight. He gets the knee-high shotgun snap. He's grabbed and he throws as he's being tackled. And it was caught in the end zone by Kelsey. What a grab by Kelsey. But what a play by Mahomes. 11-yard touchdown pass as he was being dragged from behind and threaded the needle, and there he found the belt buckle of Kelsey, who catches it 5 yards deep in the middle of the end zone. Touchdown, Chiefs.
I knew I was going to have to buy a little time. We were in 3rd and long in the red zone, but we had talked about that exact play, and we just had to Trev had to get over that linebacker, so I had to buy a little bit of time. So I stepped up in the pocket, was able to get enough on it to get in the end zone, and that was a big play in the game, and we needed to kind of get in that end zone after that long drive that they had.
You know, I was told by Susan and my son Richard that I send them too many recipes on Facebook on his instant message.
What's too many?
I don't know.
What are we talking about here?
Whatever number I've sent is too many.
Well, how many are you sending?
Probably a lot. I mean, whatever's something that catches
your
my
eye.
I send it to him.
Well, you're just helping them out, really.
He likes to cook, and Susan and I, talk about different things, like we should try different stuff. And so I see something, I say, hey.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with recipes. Like you just collect them, and then you try them out.
Well,
so you can't really have too many, can you?
Now, like I was getting ready to send one in the commercial break, I'm like,
just send it.
Do I send it?
Yeah.
Do I not send it? Is this, if I exceeded my limit, I don't know. The wonderful chicken pot pie recipe.
Oh boy,
the weather's right. I don't know.
I had shepherd's pie last week.
Oh, I bet that was delicious.
It was. It was real good. Homemade.
I don't know. At SSJ WHP, if you'd like me to send you some recipes, maybe I could scratch that itch with some other people. I don't
Start
know.
a recipe Facebook page.
Yeah, a little recipe, a group.
Yeah.
Let's just share recipes.
God bless you, Internet.
We'll have Mike DeCourcy, our college basketball insider, coming up. Then we'll talk to Jeff Kerr from CBSSports.com, Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest. One of the stars of the Mizzou basketball team, Mark Mitchell, is expected to join us at 9:05. I don't know how the hell is he going to do that. They were playing in Texas last night.
Right. That's why they asked for the latest slot if possible.
Well,
that's why we had to make some moves.
And then Mike DePasquale, Mike's got this. Mike's got picks. Unfortunately, Mizzou lost a tough game last night. Man, they had a lead late, around 5 minutes left or so, and I thought they were going to pull the win out. Didn't do it.
Struggles from behind the arc, man.
Yes.
4 for 20.
Sometimes it's as simple as the ball doesn't go through the hoop.
Yeah. Then
and it wasn't going through the hoop.
Last 4 minutes is Texas went on a 6-1 run, and then they didn't relinquish the lead after that.
Right. Texas ends up beating Missouri 61-53 in Austin.
I actually watched a good portion of that game.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Arthur Kaluma plays for Texas? After he played for Kansas State and after he played for Creighton? Huh.
Third stop.
That guy plays for everybody.
I was like, I've heard that guy's name before.
Yes, you have. Quite a few times. And so Mizzou loses at Texas in the Big 12 last night. Ooh, this is somewhat a surprise. Arizona State wins at West Virginia, 65-57. Iowa State put up 108 against UCF. Tech beat Cincy. Arizona won at Oklahoma State, and BYU keeps Colorado winless in the conference. Colorado's 0-7 now after losing at home to BYU. Tonight, both Kansas and Kansas State are in action. You can listen to the Kansas game right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB as they take on TCU. Pregame starts at 4:30 and tip-offs at 6 o'clock. Kansas comes into the game 4-2 in the conference. TCU's 3-3. Do you know the spread? If not, guess the spread.
Kansas minus 4.5.
6.5.
Okay.
6.5. Too much for you?
Yeah, that's probably a little high for me.
All right. The other game of note, well, Utah's playing at Houston. Houston's 6-0 in the Big 12. Everyone will be rooting for Utah, but that's probably not going to happen. Houston's a 19.5-point favorite at home. But the other game of note for us, Kansas State, 1-5 in the Big 12, at Baylor, 3-3. Baylor named the spread. Kansas State at Baylor in Waco, 8 o'clock.
Oh, Baylor minus 12.5.
11.5. Not bad. Good guess. Baylor favored by 11.5. So Kansas plays at 6. Kansas State plays at 8. So if you're a true college basketball fan and you like watching the local schools, you can watch both of them. Nice little doubleheader tonight. You can listen to Kansas right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB and then watch Kansas State on ESPNU. We'll talk some college basketball with Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's just not normal, the pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. But some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it's become your new normal. Short-term fixes are not working. But you can make the decision now to say no, not going to live with it. Get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, joint preservation. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. My wife went to QC Kinetics to get help with pain in her elbow and pain in her wrist, and she's very happy that she went. She's been very happy with the results. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine, using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. You know, if you want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints and get lasting relief with these amazing treatments, call QC Kinetics for a free consultation and join the tens of thousands of people that have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life again. Deal with joint pain now so you can make the most of the new year. Call QC Kinetics. And once again, get that free consultation. 816-412-6299. They're located off 435 and State Line, and also the location we visit in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. That's chill music. We in chill mode right now on this Wednesday hump day, January 22nd. Let's talk to our friend Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. Follow him on X at TSN Mike. Mike, good morning. How are you?
I'm well, Stephen. How are you?
Doing very well. I mentioned at the beginning of the show that I should never wish time away, but I'm very excited to cover the game on Sunday between the Chiefs and the Bills because I think it's going to be a classic. And before we get into college basketball, I would like to talk to you about what you wrote about the Chiefs and their pursuit of greatness, their pursuit of three-peat. And you had an interesting spin on it, and I just retweeted that again to our listeners. If you want to follow me at SSJWHB on X, just tell our listeners what the premise was, what the idea was, and what you wrote about.
Well, what I talked about is the Chiefs' pursuit of not only the three-peat, but also a fourth Super Bowl title in 6 years coincided with the Steelers celebrating the 50th anniversary of their first of 4 in 6 years and 6 all time. And so I thought it would be interesting to look at what could the Chiefs expect life to be like, so to speak, in 50 years. I mean, that's a long time, right? I grew from a young man to an old man in that time. And I thought that it would be interesting to talk to people who were part of that, and I spoke to Jack Ham, the all-time great linebacker, and Rocky Bleier, a legend as a running back. Even though he was not a superstar, he is one of the legends of that team, in part because of his unique story coming back severely wounded from Vietnam, a 16th round draft choice who goes on to be a Super Bowl hero and a 1,000-yard rusher. Really a remarkable story. And talked to him and Ham and some of the people who were around at the time covering the team, some of the people who were around following the team, the former mayor of Pittsburgh, not at the time, but who was a young person in the Pittsburgh area and then became mayor a decade ago or so, about what the legacy of that team is. And then your own Todd Lebo was kind enough to ask some of the Chiefs about how they viewed that as well, and contributed to the article in that way, and so wrote about what it would be like for them. And I think that obviously they'd have the opportunity to do something that no one's done, the three-peat concept. No one's done that. But that 4 and 6 years is that's a legit dynasty. I mean, I think because the Chiefs came so close a couple of times to getting there, that overtime game against the Patriots and such, you can put them in that category. But you get 4 and 6 years, and there's no one that can ever take that. And the other element of it that I found fascinating was the fact that there were 22 players who were on all 4 of the Steelers Super Bowl teams. So they lost a couple of guys who retired, like Andy Russell, great linebacker. There were some that retired along the way, or were basically just didn't have their fastball long enough to keep going and were replaced. Ernie Holmes being an example of that. But 22 were on all 4 teams. With the Chiefs, I believe it's 6. If they get this done, it'll be 6. Which I think says, one, a lot about how much football has changed in those 50 years. The NFL has changed. But also, how much longer do we have to wait before we say Patrick's the greatest quarterback of all time?
Not much longer.
I've already said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already said it to an extent. I wrote a column last year after the most recent Super Bowl win. But, I don't think you need to, because Tom Brady did it for so long, I think there was great accomplishment in that. But what Patrick is doing is unparalleled. No one has ever done what he's done, which is basically be the difference maker on every, in every single circumstance. Tom Brady did win with different cast, certainly, because he won in 01, 03, 04, and then later on won a few more in the mid-teens, etc., and then he won in a totally different market in 2020 in Tampa. But we're seeing this guy do it as his team changes around him. The one thing that stays the same, in addition to Chris Jones and Travis, but the one really driving element is Patrick. And it's just staggering what he's been able to accomplish.
And look, we spent a lot of time trying to, live in the moment and not take this for granted, because you mentioned 50 years, and it was 50 years between Super Bowl championships. For people of my age that missed the first one, we went our whole lives wondering if the Chiefs would ever get there, and then this. And Mike, whatever happens on Sunday, he's played 7 seasons. He didn't play his rookie year, but 7 seasons as a starter, 7 straight AFC championship games.
Right.
And the only quarterbacks that have beat him in the postseason are Tom Brady and Joe Burrow did it once. And the worst finish he's had, twice losing in overtime of the AFC championship game, and the other time losing in the Super Bowl. And it's just like, we tried to put it into words and wrap our heads around it, but I feel like I've failed so many times because there's just nothing to compare it to. And we see how hard it is to win in the postseason and to avoid an upset or avoid a down year. And the dude just every year, AFC championship game so far. It's just, I can't put my head around it.
It's really amazing. I mean, the touchdown pass that kind of sealed the one on Saturday was just, I mean, that was like, I think if you want to put it all in one play, you could do that. You could just say, okay, this is what it's been like. Because just when you think that he can't do anything else, he's literally being sacked, and he finds an open receiver and finds a way to get him the ball. That play might summarize it as well as anything that anyone can say. I like your attitude, Stephen, because I live in Pittsburgh now, and I've been I've followed the Steelers for my entire life, and it is so amazing to me. The one thing that I didn't get into in that article is the concept of entitlement, for lack of a better word, that KC fans might feel in 50 years. I hope they don't. I hope they stay as reasonable as you are right now, because the idea that you could be, the Steelers have not had, this is true, they have not had a losing season since 2003. And there are people in this market and who follow this team who think that Rooney should sell the team, who think that Mike Tomlin should be fired, who think the whole thing's a mess because they haven't won a playoff game since 2016. That's how it can become if you completely lose sight of how difficult this league is. And maybe because and maybe in 1983 or 84 or something that was reasonable. But it's not like the Steelers have had no difficult periods in that time. It's not like they've had no disappointment. They had several losing seasons in the 80s as they struggled because of the change in the marketing of the way payers were played in the 80s. No salary cap. The Steelers weren't the Rooneys are certainly not the richest people who own an NFL team, and it was hard for them, and they made some bad decisions in drafting, et cetera, and they had losing seasons. And then in the 90s under Bill Cowher, they lost 4 home AFC championship games, 4 times, 1 game short of the Super Bowl at home, and that's forgotten as well. All that's remembered is, well, we haven't won a playoff game since 2016. And so I like the way you approach this. Enjoy it while it lasts, and hope that it lasts for a long time. And then when it changes, try to figure out how do you do to get back there. But you don't turn on everybody that's made it happen. That would be absurd.
I'm just glad I'm here for it. We have Mike DeCourcy of the sporting news, right? Real quick before we get into college basketball, all that said, who's your pick to win on Sunday, Chiefs or Bills?
Well, I can't pick against the Chiefs because they always find a way. I don't know. I don't even know what the number is, but I don't know how I would feel about that. But just in terms of winning, I can't expect Buffalo to come in there and win. I think if the game, if Casey hadn't done such an unbelievable job of winning close games this year, then if the game were going to Buffalo, I think I might have a different idea about it. But it's not. And so I expect the Chiefs will advance to yet another Super Bowl. And I think if they get there, they'll win it because although I have great respect for Philly, I don't think that they have enough offense to win the game.
That's Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. All right, let's jump in now to some college basketball. All right, we'll start off with Mizzou. They lost last night at Texas, and it was a very ugly game offensively, especially in the first half. Neither team shot very well in the first 10 minutes. Mizzou had a lead with about five minutes or so to go, and then they just went cold. Texas got hot and finished the game off. And a couple of times Texas able to get big offensive rebounds and made Missouri pay. I mean, not a terrible loss, but